Hey everybody, today you're going to read excerpts from chapter 4 of The Great Gatsby, and this is all about how much Nick believes Gatsby / believes in Gatsby. Our directions say that we're going to read and annotate each section using the comments feature, which you can see over here, in order to analyze how much Nick believes in Gatsby's account of his background. You're to rate Nick's belief in Gatsby on a 1 to 10 scale, 1 being liar, liar, pants on fire, all the way up to 10, which is he has complete trust in Gatsby. You are to highlight a number and explain your rating below. So I'm going to read you section 1, and you can decide if you think Nick believes Gatsby. Section 1. I had talked with him perhaps half a dozen times in the past month and found, to my disappointment, that he had little to say. So my first impression, that he was a person of some undefined consequence, had gradually faded, and he had become simply the proprietor of an elaborate roadhouse next door. And then came that disconcerting ride. We hadn't reached West Egg Village before Gatsby began leaving his elegant sentences unfinished and slapping himself indecisively on the knee of his caramel-colored suit. "Look here, old sport," he broke out surprisingly. "What's your opinion of me, anyhow?" A little overwhelmed, I began the generalized evasions which that question deserves. "Well, I'm going to tell you something about my life," he interrupted. "I don't want you to get a wrong idea of me from all these stories you hear." So he was aware of the bizarre accusations that flavored conversations in his halls. All right, so you can see in this section that Gatsby is aware that there are lots of rumors going around about him. And on this ride with Nick, he wants to clear up some of those rumors. So based on that, you can decide how much you think on the scale of whether Nick believes Gatsby or believes these rumors or whatever he believes. So then you would just highlight whichever one you believe, and then you'll type in your actual answer. So you would say, "I believe blah, 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 blah." And then we'll move on to section 2. Don't write what I wrote. That's not a good example. All right, section 2. I'll tell you God's truth. His right hand suddenly ordered divine retribution to stand by. I am the son of some wealthy people in the Middle West, all dead now. I was brought up in America, but educated at Oxford, because all my ancestors have been educated there for many years. It is a family tradition. He looked at me sideways, and I knew why Jordan Baker had believed he was lying. He hurried the phrase, educated at Oxford, or swallowed it, or choked on it, as though it had bothered him before. And with this doubt, his whole statement fell to pieces, and I wondered if there wasn't something a little sinister about him after all. "What part of the Middle West?" I inquired casually. "San Francisco." "I see. My family all died, and I came into a good deal of money." His voice was solemn, as if the memory of that sudden extinction of a clan still haunted him. For a moment, I suspected that he was pulling my leg, but a glance at him convinced me otherwise. After that, I lived like a young Rajah in all the capitals of Europe, Paris, Venice, Rome, collecting jewels, chiefly rubies, hunting big game, painting a little, things for myself only, and trying to forget something very sad that had happened to me long ago. With an effort, I managed to restrain my incredulous laughter. The very phrases were worn so threadbare that they evoked no image except that of a turbaned character leaking sawdust at every pore as he pursued a tiger through the Bois de Boulogne. I'm not really sure. It's French, I think. All right, so in that excerpt, you can see that Gatsby is spinning this tale of his past where all of his family has passed away. He went to Oxford, which is very prestigious, but there's something funny about the way he says that, so Nick doesn't really know how truthful that is. Then he spins these tales of all these hunting activities and finding rubies and gems, etc. So you decide how you think you feel on that one, because this video is about to end and I'll start another one for section 3.